So find out what my favourite and least favourite bags are from some of the brands that we love to talk about. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, fab to have you here. For those of you who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself and celebrating others. So, what are we going to talk about today? I'm going to share with you my favourite and my least favourite bags from some of the brands that we love to talk about. I was watching recently a former video of Gwenny's, styled by Gwenny. Go and check out her channel, she's awesome. And she was talking about her favourite and least favourite bags from brands, and I remember seeing Caitlin Pulowski also do this type of video where she did 15 favourite bags from 15 brands in one video and 15 least favourite in another. And I really liked Gwenny's format around doing one, then the other, one, then the other. So I was thinking about this and thinking about what are the brands that I want to talk to you about. So I've got a range of different brands here. I've got anything from Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Gucci. We've got Aspinal of London in here. We've even got Cartier. We've thrown in a couple of different ones. So I would love to talk to you about it. Stick around and I look forward to seeing what your thoughts are. So, let's kick things off early doors with Chanel. Who am I to potentially come for any of the Chanel brand? And actually, my least favourite is one that I think a lot of people won't agree with, but it's my opinion. My favourite of the Chanel bags is the Chanel classic flap with the diamond quilting, preferably in a jumbo size, but actually just the classic flap in general is my favourite. I know that it's one that some individuals feel is a little bit overplayed, but I think it's popular for a reason. It's beautiful. They bring it out in a stunning range of colours. At the moment, Chanel have a beautiful pink. There's a purple. I love it in white. I love it in black. It's a beautiful, beautiful item, and it's very popular for a reason. I know that flap bags aren't for everyone. The double flap wouldn't be for everyone. I don't own one, so I can't really say whether or not that would work for me, but aesthetically, I find it very pleasing. My least favourite Chanel bag, oh, this is a popular one. This is one of their classics, the Chanel 19. I don't like the Chanel 19, and if you own it and you love it, fabulous. For me, doesn't work for me. Don't love the fact that it's not a chain that doubles up. Don't love the fact that the chain is constantly attached to it. The pillowiness of it doesn't do anything for me. I appreciate what they were trying to do with it. It's just not a bag that I gravitate towards. I would sooner use a classic flap, a boy bag, a re-edition if I was going for one of the Chanel classic flap bags. This is my least favourite of those. I prefer the Gabrielle. Yeah, the 22 is also pretty ghastly, I think, but the 19 really is one that consistently, ever since it came out, has never quite done it for me. I'm always really happy when I see people using it and loving it, but would I carry one? No. If I was gifted one, would I carry it? No, I just don't like it. Just don't like it. But if you own it and you love it, good for you. Now let's go to Louis Vuitton, and this particular favourite from Louis Vuitton gives you a very clear indication as to my favourite bag style. And my favourite bag from Louis Vuitton is the City Steamer MM. I think this is beautiful. The structure, love the fact that it comes in a range of different colours and materials. You can get this in some uber expensive exotics as well. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. Practical in the fact that it's a top handle, but it also comes with a shoulder strap, could fit a lot in it. Not excessive in terms of its branding, just a very beautiful item. Like this a lot. My least favourite Louis Vuitton bag. And again, who am I to come for these popular items? The Pochette Métis. Particularly the Pochette Métis in reverse monogram. Oh, satchel styles, not my vibe, not my favourite thing to look at. I particularly dislike the reverse monogram. I know it's very popular. I don't like the giant monogram either. Oh, I'm probably upsetting people right now, aren't I? But the Pochette Métis, I look at it and I don't see anything inspiring, I don't see anything exceptional, and for nearly £2,000, £1,780, I want to see something that I feel a little bit inspired by. There are other brands that I would much prefer to buy this type of bag from, who I think do it more successfully for less money. So now let's go to Dior. And one of my favourite Dior pieces consistently is from the Lady Dior collection. I love the delights that they do in the beautiful fabrics and materials. I think they're really special. However, the Dior bag that I consistently gravitate towards is the Lady Dior in the black patent leather in the large size. I think this is so beautiful, so elegant, so timeless. But patent, I think, adds a little bit of a pop, a little bit of something different. Patent gives me something very similar to mock croc, in the sense that you can have a somewhat plainer bag, but it just adds a bit of pizzazz, but it still has a formality to it. The Lady Dior is a beautiful item. Love the practicality of the large size. Do I think it could get heavy? Yes, I do, but I also like that it comes with a shoulder strap, and you can really jazz up the Lady Diors dependent on the shoulder straps that you go for. You could potentially get one in a bright colour. You can really mix and match it. I mean, it is fairly expensive. It's about £4,000, which is a lot of money. But for the size of bag that you're getting, it's a classic. My only thing with the Lady Diors is you can quite often pick up a great deal on the pre-loved market. So if you are going for something that's maybe been around for a little bit of time, it might be worth looking pre-loved, because new, this is about £4,500. I've seen large Lady Diors on the pre-loved market less than £2,000 for a really good condition, so definitely something to think about. My least favourite from Dior isn't actually because of the shape of the bag, it is because of the variation that they've decided to go with. This is the medium Dior Vibe Zip Bowling Bag. I like a Boston bag, I like a bowling bag, I think that they're cool, I like that Dior are doing something a little bit different. For me, this white and gold combo looks very tacky. I really, really dislike this variation. There were zip bowling bags that I did like from this particular collection. Like I said, it's this variation really put me off. And the challenge with Dior is there was a lot that I wasn't a fan of, so the fact that I zeroed in on this so quickly, it's the gold for me. It is the gold. I just think it looks really tacky, and I'm sorry if someone owns this. And I'm sorry that you paid £3,500 for it. It is a very expensive bag that I don't think looks particularly sophisticated, doesn't look particularly expensive. Oof, I just don't like it. Just don't like it. Now let's talk Gucci, and I was torn between two Gucci bags because I'm really loving the Gucci Diana at the moment. I think that's beautiful with the mixture of leather and bamboo. But my firm favourite, and has been my firm favourite for a very long time within the Gucci collection, is the Gucci Dionysus shoulder bag. I love the fact that they bring this out in so many variations. They bring it out in different materials, patterns, prints. It's a beautiful shoulder bag, very intricate. I think it's quite heavy. I have held one before, and there's a lot of hardware, so it can get quite heavy, particularly in the leather versions. But what I particularly love about the Dionysus is a lot of the time they bring it out in silver hardware. Not many brands do a lot of silver hardware, because I do think that gold is the most popular choice, but they bring a lot of the Gucci Dionysus pieces out in silver hardware. Absolutely love it. Think it's beautiful, think it's intricate, very impactful. I like the Gucci monogram as well very much. It's a very nice item. Now, there wasn't a huge amount in Gucci that I particularly disliked, but this is a bag that I look at and I think, I don't understand why you need it. And this is the Gucci Horsebit 1955 mini bag. Now, it's okay. I don't love the burgundy, but as you know, red is not my favourite colour, so it was better in other variations. The red just doesn't really do very much for me. Like I said, it's okay. I just don't know what you're using it for, what you're fitting in it. It looks to me like a phone case with a strap, to be honest, a phone holder with a strap, which if that's what you're going for, completely fair enough. But I don't think that's necessarily a great look. What could you fit in this? Maybe your phone, if you have a smaller phone, a couple of cards, your keys, some gum, potentially. a bit of a crossbody, cute, maybe something that you would take to something like a concert, potentially. It will be hard wearing. I just don't particularly love the look of it. I don't particularly enjoy the potential practicality of it. I know it's a mini bag, so what do you expect? You can't expect it to be overly practical, but I'm just not a huge fan of it. I also prefer a bag that is rectangular, opposed to one that is rectangular horizontally opposed to one that's rectangular vertically. This just doesn't quite do it for me for £765. I think you could probably get a very similar thing from another brand for a lot less money. Yes, it wouldn't be Gucci, but I also think Gucci do better mini bags than this. Now, I am using an idea that I took from Gwenny, so how could I not include one of Gwenny's favourite brands? Alexander McQueen. And Alexander McQueen had a lot of really beautiful pieces. I was struggling to find something I particularly disliked, but I found a lot of stuff that I really did love. But the thing that I leant towards the most, and it's another flat bag style, is this beautiful jeweled satchel in the black and white. I love this graffiti across it with the McQueen. This came in a beautiful range of colours, comes in a couple of different sizes I believe, but I just loved the impact of the black leather with the white across it, silver hardware, we know I love silver hardware, and those 4 kind of rings that sit at the front with the various emblems on them that we know are a very big signature of Alexander McQueen. And Alexander McQueen isn't a brand that you see so much discussion about. I don't see a huge amount of Alexander McQueen pieces when I'm out and about. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, then I think this could be a really nice option for you. Another bag that I just struggled to understand the need for it. This is the Curve, and I'm showing it to you here in the forest green. They did it in a beautiful range of colours. I will say that their colour choices in every single aspect of this bag were very, very good. I'm just not a massive fan of the style, don't think it would be overly practical, don't love the kind of 3D effect to it. I'm not a lover of that 3D look. And it would be crossbody or long shoulder exclusively. This could have been really cute if it maybe had a little bit of a top handle as well. Quite similar to the Louis Vuitton variants, but the fact that they've just gone crossbody with it or long shoulder reduces its versatility, means that it couldn't be quite as formal. If it were me, I'd probably try and get a strap that I could maybe use this as a top handle and use it a little bit more formally. But for £1,090, it's certainly not one that I would be looking twice at, and I don't think it's massively appealing. Now let's go to Mulberry, and I am of course such a fan of the Mulberry Bayswater. You know, if you caught my recent unboxing, I now have 2. I have one that's very classic, I also have one that is much less classic, but look how beautiful this is. This is my Trippy Tiger. I've got a little Kurt Geiger charm on it. I think it's really cute. I love the Bayswater. They bring it out in a beautiful range of colours and variations, particularly in the most recent collection. That lawn green geometric is stunning. They've done a fabulous job. That is a beautiful piece. I 100% would have bought it if I had, you know, the limitless funds to be able to do so, but £1,350 is a lot of money. And I needed to make other choices. So it's a beautiful bag, highly recommend. Top handle exclusively isn't for everyone, but I think in terms of a signature from the Mulberry collection, it's a really good one. But there wasn't very much within the Mulberry collection that I dislike, I have to say. As a cohesive collection, Mulberry pull it together pretty well, I have to say. Great brand, highly recommend. Now my least favourite from Mulberry will be no surprise to any of you. I've spoken about this before, the Big Softy. I just think it is horrible. I think it's absolutely horrible. I particularly loathe the handles. I'm not a huge fan, like I said, of vertical bags, but I loathe the top handles. I think they are horrible. The strap is too small in comparison to the rest of the bag. I also worry that this could scratch incredibly easily, or you could puncture it. It looks like you could really easily puncture it. And the leather is quite thin on it, so not one for me. The Softy range, I've warmed to the flat bag versions, particularly the medium size flat bag, but this particular Big Softy, not a fan, really dislike it in this coral orange as well. Not one for me. You certainly wouldn't see it in my collection. I wouldn't buy it, I wouldn't wear it if someone gifted it to me. So that probably says how I feel about it. Let's go to Versace, and I absolutely was loving the Versace range. I think they do some really beautiful bags, and you don't see many people carrying Versace bags. The first person I saw with a Versace bag was Cassie, with her Palazzo Empire bags, with the, is it a kind of sand with the neon pop, and then I remember that she had a black medium with green, I want to say, green or purple, and they were beautiful bags, but I really do like Versace's bag range, and I particularly love the La Medusa range. They do them in some beautiful colours. The smaller bags, there was a gorgeous pink, there was a gorgeous purple, but the one that really captivated me was the green La Medusa in the large size. I think it's beautiful. Love the fact that it's a big top handle, has the flap on the top. You know that's very much my style of bag. But what I love about this is the chain. The chain is really good fun. It looks almost to be that kind of acrylic links. And I just think it's beautiful. A very different choice to the normal top handle that you might see. And I don't think it's an unreasonable price point. It's about £2,000, which for a bag of this size, full leather, I think is pretty good from one of these brands. I love this, I think it's beautiful. And it doesn't have Versace all over it. You can buy bolder Versace bags, but I love that this just has the Medusa head. It's one of those when you know type of bags, beautiful, and the colour is stunning. They also do it in orange, and I believe they do it in black as well, all of which are very nice. So this is a win. One that is not such a win, and I think Gwenny and I have chosen the same bag here, and Gwenny referred to it, I think, as like a makeup type loofah sort of thing. I actually see it as a polo, and this is the La Medusa studded round camera bag. Who remembers the polos that you could buy that came in, they were the fruit flavour, they came in the purple tube, and you had the multiple flavours that ran through? This to me looks like the orange polo. And I don't know if when you're spending £1,080 on a camera bag, that's what you want it to remind you of. We all know I love a bit of nostalgia, but do we need our bags to remind us of sweets? I'm not 100% sure that we do. Yeah. This one isn't a particular win. They do it in some nice colours, I would absolutely say that, but it's just not a win. It wouldn't be massively practical either. Circular bags aren't particularly practical because there aren't that many items that you own in, in life today that are circular. So trying to fit things in around a circle is actually really difficult. Think about your phone, think about your keys, think about your cards. Everything is rectangular or squared, and that makes it quite difficult because you end up with quite a lot of wasted space when you've got something that's circular. So this isn't my favourite item. It's not terrible as least favourites go. I'm just not in love with it. Let's go now to Cartier, and I said I was going to try and share some slightly different brands. So looking at Cartier, I've spoken about this bag before. I shared it in my Hermes Kelly Alternatives video. This is a top handle bag, small model Panthère de Cartier, and it comes in this beautiful green. I love it. I love the clasp on this, that's the panther. I love the bottle green, the top handle, the fact that it comes with the strap as well. This is a bit of a concertina style. I think it's really beautiful, very understated. Again, it's one of those when you know type of bags. I think it's one that if it was sat on the table next to you, someone would say that's a beautiful item, where's it from? Without necessarily knowing. It creates a sense of intrigue, and I love that from them. Go off, Cartier, create that intrigue. Ooh, this one. There's not much about this that I'm in love with, if I'm honest. Least of all, the price. The Cactus de Cartier bag. Not my particular favourite style. I think it's intended to look a bit like an antique purse, an antique coin purse, something along those lines, which it does successfully. It comes with a beautifully intricate chain, but it is £87,000. I think it must be an exotics. It comes with, let me look, yellow gold, emeralds, carnelians, and diamonds. Alligator leather. I mean that's some serious materials that they've got going on there. So I can understand why it's the money it is. I mean, they've put some money into creating that, but that is a lot of money for a bag. I'm not a huge fan of the combo that they've gone for as well. That kind of orange against the green isn't my favourite. That's a lot of money. a lot of money, and there are a few different variations of these. I think it's one of those that you have to order it by phone. You have to probably pop into the store. You can't just buy it online. But £87,000, it's a lot of money. But to be able to own something that exquisite would be really special. This just probably wouldn't be the version that I would personally go for. Now let's go to Aspinal. And again, Aspinal was a brand that I was struggling to find something that I really wasn't a huge fan of. I did manage to find something, but it's not that I'm massively offended by it. It just wasn't my favourite. But the one thing that I was absolutely loving, and I was torn between a few, because you know I love the frame bag, you know that I love the London tote. However, I just think for its craftsmanship and its beauty, I'm absolutely loving the woodland hand-embroidered velvet midi Mayfair. This is absolutely beautiful. This again is another one that I think could be a nice alternative to an Hermes Kelly. It comes with the flap that goes over the top, it has a shoulder strap, it has a top handle, it's a slightly more satchel-y style bag opposed to a more classic top handle. I really love this, and I love the velvet, I love the intricacy of the embroidery. It's beautiful. It's £1,500, which is about £700 or £800 more than the midi Mayfairs if you were to buy them in leather, mock croc, etc. But it is absolutely gorgeous. They are very limited editions. You can pre-order them, they're not readily available, but they're absolutely stunning and a real showpiece. And then the one that I wasn't a huge fan of from Aspinal, this is the Paris bag. Quite honestly, just because I don't really understand the shape. I wonder if they've called it the Paris bag because of the trapeze kind of shape and silhouette to it. I just don't think that's massively practical. It would look a little bit cumbersome. The fact that it's not got a top handle, it's meant to be a shoulder bag as well. I don't know how comfortable that would be. Actually, maybe it would be okay because it technically goes away from your body. Maybe it would be quite comfortable to carry, but I just don't think it would be massively practical. Don't love the fact that you have more space on the bottom than you do on the top. That makes it more difficult to get everything in and out of. You couldn't, I don't think, use this as a work bag with a bigger laptop without having to really maneuver things in and out. That just limits what it can do. It does come in a really beautiful lilac, but you can buy that same lilac in other bags, so I would probably just go for the other bags. It's not terrible, it's really not terrible by any stretch. It's just not my favourite. This is probably a 5 out of 10, which I think when you're looking at least favourites, isn't a bad place to find yourself. We have 2 more brands to go, and I'm going to quickly talk about Hermes. My favourite bag will come as no surprise to you. I'm really torn between 2, but they actually have very similar features. I'm torn between the Garden Party and the Birkin. Now, from a price point perspective, the Garden Party would win out for me, but I think the Birkin is just so stunning. In a 35 or a 40, in a bright pop of colour, exemplary. I think it's a beautiful bag. I love top handles, so it wouldn't bother me that it doesn't come with a shoulder strap. I think it's absolutely stunning. A wish list item for me. Do I ever think I'll own one? No, I don't. But would I love to one day? Absolutely. I know they're not the most practical thing in the world, but that wouldn't bother me. I could definitely see myself carrying a Birkin. Now, least favourite. There are a couple that I'm just not a massive fan of. There were a lot that sat in the they're okay section, which when you're spending thousands of pounds, I don't think that should be where your head is. So for example, the Bolide, I think it's a nice item, but when I see them going for 6, 7, 8 grand, I think that is a lot of money for something to not be exceptional. My thoughts on the Picatinny are quite similar. Not in love with it. Can see why it's cute. Can think that it'll be exceptionally made. Do I think it's exceptional? I don't. My least favourite is the Evelyn. I don't believe it's lined. Let me know if I've got that wrong. It's just not my favourite style of bag. It's just not something that I would ever personally carry. I'm not a huge fan of the perforated logo either. And it's one that I have seen quite a few knockoffs of over the years, and it's one that is glaringly obvious when you see the real thing versus seeing one that is not. It is glaringly obvious, and there are some very telltale signs. But it's just one that has never grabbed me. I've never felt particularly captivated by it. It comes in a beautiful range of colours. It's just not something that I would ever personally want to use. Again, if someone were to gift it to me, I wouldn't carry it. It's just not my thing. Let's round things off with a little bit of fun. Let's go to Moschino, and I'm going to start with my least favourite bag from Moschino, and then I'll tell you my favourite. My least favourite is the Moschino Teddy Lock Napa Hobo Bag. This will be beautifully made. The reason that this is my least favourite is it's £1,050, but I just think it's a little bit dull. Moschino is known for creating such bright, vibrant, bold, playful, fun pieces. I think to buy something that's so reserved from Moschino is such a shame. I don't feel like you're using the brand to its fullest extent, and I know that someone might have just bought into the brand and have multiple fun pieces and might just want to buy one of their slightly more simple pieces, but I just think that goes against the grain of what the brand is all about. I just think Moschino has more to give. So this isn't my favourite. It's a nice item. Again, it's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It's just, for me, not what Moschino is all about, which is about that very loud, vibrant, in-your-face design. Okay, and now let's go to my favourite. And these are just really random and really fun, but I just happen to absolutely love them. And these are the Moschino Napa biker bags. I particularly love this beautiful plum colour. I think it's absolutely stunning. Wish it was silver hardware. That would be the only thing that would pop it off. However, the gold versus the plum is beautiful. They also do it in a beautiful blue. Really big fan of it. I just think it's so fun and so playful. This for me is what Moschino is all about. Something that is totally random. And I think the price points of Moschino are really, really good. You know, 1,140. Yes, it's very novelty, but if your style is somewhat novelty, you could carry this a lot. I would carry something like this quite a lot, and there is a Moschino bag that is on my wish list at the moment, and I do keep an eye on the Moschino collections because I think they're really fun and playful. FYI, this isn't the bag that's on my wish list, but there is something that is a very close second to what would have been my favourite that is. So really beautiful, really fun, really playful, something completely different. Love it. So there we have it, everyone. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Have you ever done a video like this? If you have, send me the link to it. I'd love to watch it. Thank you to Gwenny for the inspiration for when I was watching yours recently. Also to Caitlin, who I know has done these videos in the past. It was really good fun. Hopefully you've found some items that you think are interesting to hear opinions of, and I look forward to seeing my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now.